Hey, Carl, good to see you.
Likewise, good to see you. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Hello there.
Hi,
Nice to see you too.
Tenerife.
Oh, all right. Madrid.
No, I'm in Colorado, but
Oh,
I love
yeah,
Tenerife.
Colorado. That's hot as well. That's hot as well.
I spent 3 years in Spain. I
Oh,
wanted to
good.
go to Tenerife.
That's wonderful.
Never got there.
Hello and welcome. Welcome back. Welcome to the Light 'em Up Lounge. It's Wednesday, same time, same station as always. We've been going on for quite a few years now, always with our trusted fellows, friends, and the Light 'em Up family here live at the lounge via Zoom. People joining us over on Facebook. It's still summer. A lot of people are traveling or on vacation, enjoying, well, at least some warmth and comfort and relaxation, even though before the show we were just talking a bit about all the crazy things going on with global weather and climate phenomenons and crisis, and the planet is sweating and burning, literally. That being said, chilly and cool over here, at least at the lounge. I hope everybody's well acclimatized, and I look forward to an inspiring and enlightening show as every week. We have a very special guest joining us today, and it gives me great pleasure to take a historical deep dive and talk about the present and the future with no other than Rafael Cifuentes, the fourth generation of his family, heavily involved in the tobacco, premium cigar world. And we will talk about the family history and legacy and everything that's to come with Rafael. And I'm also very happy to welcome, in particular, my dear friend and fellow and my brother, I believe, Carl from the Stogie Lads, joining us here today. Carl will provide me with the pleasure and privilege and honor of co-hosting this session with me. Carl, you have a particular affinity and expertise when it comes to all things historical references in the premium cigar world, the job that you've been doing with researching and publishing thorough, in-depth articles and videos and presentations about the cigar history are incredibly well put together, and a true pleasure to study and to learn from. So I thought you would be the perfect co-host and wingman for the show today, together with Rafael. So again, a very warm welcome. What a difficult group of words to everybody joining us today. If you're watching over on Facebook, make yourselves heard. Please put your questions underneath the live stream into the comments, and I'll happily forward them to our very special guest, Rafael. And so without further ado, here he is, the man himself. Rafael, welcome to Light 'em Up.
Thank you so much, Renhard. It's a pleasure to be with all of you here, and definitely friendly faces I can see. Hi there, Franca. How you doing? It's a fantastic opportunity to speak to you all guys and show that we together share this passion for tobacco and cigar business, right? Let me say at first that I'm a 55-year-old guy who's married for 30 years now, and I've been in the tobacco industry for 35 years since I started my work experience, family business, and been involved in many different things at different periods of my life, and there might some questions may arise that I may not be able to answer, or some others I may, because of 35 years gives a lot of involvement and a lot of avenues to follow. I have a wonderful wife and four excellent kids, now coming to be the fifth generation into the tobacco, and that share this enthusiastic path of the new cigar brand that I will be launching shortly in the States for the the delight of the smokers. You just go ahead and shoot your questions, and I'll do my best. Renhard.
Well, First of all, Rafael, again, many thanks also for that wonderful introduction. Already a lot to dissect and to talk about there. It's wonderful to have parts of your family also with us here at the lounge, and hopefully many more watching. But tell us a little bit about the rich family history of the Cifuentes family, and let's go back in time a little bit, because when you mentioned the fifth generation is now coming into the business, and slowly but steadily, getting the feel and the experience for that incredible world that is premium tobacco and premium cigars that we are all so passionate about. How did the family even enter the business, or what are some of the first traces that you have found looking back in the annals of the family history?
Definitely, Renhard. My great grandfather was, when he was 17, he took a ship from Asturias, the north of Spain, called Bergantin Havana. That ship did a route between Havana and Spain. And it's quite curious that 30 miles from that town, which is called Ribadesella, there was another town called Llanes, and people there were shipped to Mexico. But he lived about 3.5 kilometers from Ribadesella, and took the Bergantine to Cuba in 1871, and as his family were farmers, and my great grandparents and his parents were farmers, he went directly to the Vuelta Abajo region, where the tobacco is grown. He reached there when he was 17, as I mentioned. But at first, he saw himself involved in the first Cuban-Spanish War that lasted about 10 years. So he joined the military, and as the war was on and off, he started growing tobacco, and he started buying different lands and different farms. So eventually, since he had a agricultural tradition in his blood, he became one of the best well-known farmers in Cuba. And that's more or less the starting point of the history of the family. After that, in 1898, to make the story short, after the Spanish lost the Cuban island to the Cubans, he established as a sole tobacco farmer. He started providing tobacco leaf to all the different factories. And it was about 1900s when a friend of his, Jose Antonio Bantes, who was a banker and who also had some tobacco brands. Actually, there's Bantes brands you can probably look it up and find some of his works. Had been in the tobacco business before, but had not succeeded. He was a banker. He had taken a hold of the depth of Jaume Partagas, who was the sole founder of Partagas in 1845, and asked my great grandfather, as they were friends, to give him a hand and join the company, and so he did, as general manager of the company. Years after that, he joined another very relevant person in the industry, Antonio Fernandez, who was very well known for his ability in cigar rolling and the different vitolas, and they both together ended up owning the factory. That afterwards, like around 1914 or something like that, this person retired, and my great grandfather had a very tight relationship with my great grandmother's person that took care of her things, and asked him, actually gave him the part of the stake in the company so that he would join. He joined, and finally at 1940 he became the sole owner. After that, my grandfather and his two brothers were the sole owners of the company until the Cuban Revolution. They were seized and the factories were taken from, actually was from all the tobacco sector was seized the same day. So I decided to take this project onward, and I named it Adalthea Realis, which is translated into Your Highness, because as many of the original owners of the factories do their own brands, my great-grandfather, under his own brand, did a vitola that was called Your Royal Highness. So to me, it was a perfect fit. I wanted to honor my great-grandfather, my father, and my grandfather, who were all both in the factory. And well, after 35 years of being involved in the tobacco business, I had a lot of people asking me, why don't you go ahead and do your own thing? It's right about time. And to be honest, about 5 years ago, I started thinking of this project. I started developing the idea, and that's finally coming to an end by mid-September. I said I'll be launching a cabinet series of Miami edition of the Adalthea Realis brand. I think that's more or less sums up the where do we come from and what is the near future going to bring from this side. Eventually, we strive to make the best product possible for the customer, for the smoker, and we also look at the past to rely upon the teachings and what we have learned through generations, actually.
It's fascinating, Rafael. It's always mesmerizing to meet people and to share those precious moments with people like yourself, and many other families in this industry that have been there for so many generations, for decades and centuries.
Yeah.
Paving the way and shaping the destiny of this industry that still to this day mesmerizes people and fascinates people. Such a mystical product, truly, that is unlike anything I have ever seen. And I worked in passionate industries like the wine and the spirits and the hospitality industry, but this is something truly magical. And then whenever we take such a historical deep dive and we have the opportunity to speak with people who have seen all the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, and all the hardship of the industry and the individual people and the families therein, that's truly fascinating. Carl, I know you're bringing with questions and enthusiasm and excitement as well. So please, I would love for you to chime in as well and hear your thoughts and your questions.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. It is truly an honor to listen to you here.
It's an honor to be here.
And I mean that because you are a direct link to such an extremely rich history in this product that we love. And I thought it's nice that you're launching in the middle of September, because that's you mentioned that on one day the government ripped all the cigar away, and that was September 15th. So that's a nice symbolic gesture. But if I don't know how much you can say about this new venture. You said it was Miami connected, because I remember reading about Don Ramon Cifuentes, and he worked in the Dominican Republic a lot and Jamaica. Right. What kind of tobacco are you working with, and are you connecting to your learnings there in any way?
Sure. This blend that Adalthea Realis will share with the smoking partners. It's basically 100% a Nicaraguan tobacco. So it's Ecuador wrapper, Havana wrapper. It's taken several people, definitely other than me, to develop the blend. I wanted to reach a blend that would satisfy the connoisseur and the person and people that are used to smoking even Cuban cigars, but also not to limit the beginners, because at the end of the day, a strong cigar may kick you back, and developing a brand, it's a matter of developing the different blends and interpretation of blends. Definitely, I'm looking back at the family products. There's no, I mean, the secret is the blend, which is I think one of the main mottos of the brand. It's the truth of the story, you know, blending of the tobaccos, but not only blending the tobaccos, blending the experiences other people may bring to your attention. It is highly important. This first batch is going to be 1,000 boxes. It's manufactured under El Titán de Bronce, with whom I have a dear relationship with Sandy and with Giselle. And it's limited. It's limited in terms of quantity, because at the end of the day, it's what was available in the market, and to fit the specifications we desired. And you know that something that really inspired me was you know this guidance of these people that have been involved in the tobacco before me, and jumped every hurdle along the way in order to make such a fantastic product, and an excellent refinement of an industry that, like Renhard was saying before, it only compares to maybe champagne wineries. You know, really top of the line products. In that respect, I think it's you know, it's a blessing for me to be in this industry. Definitely, I think I've had the best teachers anyone could have, and today I'm still learning. I sit every Thursday. I try to sit with Benjamin Endeth and smoke cigars with him, and learn from him, because his richness in this industry, having worked in Tenerife, well, in the Canary Islands, in Cuba, definitely, in Dominican, in Jamaica, Nicaragua, Honduras. You know, he's such an excellent, not only such an excellent person, but, you know, connoisseur, and has this profound respect for what he has done over the years, and definitely for everybody, you know, which is something that we share, this respect for all the people that are involved in this industry, from the farmer to the consumer, you know, the whole line. It's I think it's what's really important in our industry. I don't know if I answered your question, but maybe I went a little bit too far.
Excellent.
Rafael, what's interesting when you talk about all of that is you had, as you said, some of the best mentors and even just fellows, you know, accompanying you along the way of starting your own brand, and all the years prior to that where you were heavily involved in the industry. I mean, I think I can spare us the question, what led you to start your own brand? Because it is that tribute to the family history and the love and passion that you have in your heart for the industry, and to make a significant contribution. But with everything that you had already learned throughout the decades,
Yeah.
with the people that accompanied you along the way, what were some of the most challenging aspects, you'd say, in eventually coming up with your own brand and starting your own venture?
You know, I think it's definitely there's a turning point when the industry starts looking at the boutique products, and we start seeing brands, definitely very good brands made by Nestor, for example, whom I really love and cherish, and know since the 90s. You know, for example, the true motivation in this project. First, it was the right time. I think it was the right time to do it, but most importantly, I kept on, speaking to people and sharing with people, smokes and talks, and in some respect, the excellence in cigar making and somehow the practices that used to be regarded in Cuba from every perspective were somehow being lost to a more marketing type of product. I felt that there was a possible definitely a core of people who really want to enjoy the best product they can have and deserve to have all our passion and all our dedication to the product. And it reminds me of my grandfather used to say, the great thing about the Cuban market, that it's when they were there, it's that definitely they were competitors, but definitely they were friends, and definitely they were competing to make the best product possible. Not profit at that time were not an issue. The issue was making the best product they could make. So I wanted to bring that back to the market, and I wanted to, I thought it was the right time to do it. Other people encouraged me, Manolo Quesada, for example, or even Benji. They encouraged me, you should go ahead and do this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not only a tradition, but it's, you have something different to offer, and the market will definitely be the one judging it, which is something in respect to the legacy that, really weighs on when you're developing a product, because you want it to be as good as you can be. And I think that's common to all manufacturers and all brands. We do the best we can do, and a step forward is an additional step if it's needed. It'll be taken.
Yeah. Rafael, there's somebody else in the audience who I would love to wholeheartedly welcome and have him chime in and share some of the historical references and fond memories. I got a gentleman who is actually my mentor and somebody I consider a very dear friend, and I'm most grateful and humbled by that. George, it's lovely to see you. A familiar backdrop that I was fortunate to experience just a couple of weeks ago. It's great to see you, and thank you for taking the time and joining us today.
Well, thanks. First of all, thanks for your kind words, but I really wanted to hear what Rafa had to say, because as soon as I saw that this was happening, I was excited because I fondly remember when Don Ramon finally came back to the market, and it was really impressive the discipline that he exhibited when Montecruz went. You mentioned Benji, and I was thrilled by the idea that you had contact with Benji to do this, because those are the twin towers of Cuban. The idea that someone from H. Upman, from the Menendez and Garcia operations, and the Cifuentes for Partagas and Ramones and everything else are together talking about a brand is exciting for anybody who has any sense of cigar history. But I really remember how long he waited, because the Canary Island cigars had become a success. The things that Benji and that the Garcias had done, and that the Canary Island operation was the thing that proved to the American market that a true luxury cigar could come along to replace Havana cigars. This is in the mid 70s. I want to say it was 76 or 77 when all of a sudden Ramon came with that beautiful cigar from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. So he didn't go the Canary Islands route. He brought us that cigar, distributed here in the U.S. by General. And it had, I'll never forget this, opening the first box, that Cameroon wrapper that was on those boxes was so irresistibly beautiful. And not that they didn't have Cameroon that they were using in the Canary Islands, but the wrapper that was on those cigars was stunning.
Yeah.
And I will never forget one of the most sophisticated cigar campaigns that I ever saw from that era was this beautiful little countertop display that had a video screen inside, and it was Ramon narrating the story of Partagas. And I swear to this day, I can hear his voice going, Partagas, it's not just a cigar, it's a romance. He was magic. I'm telling you, I could recite, I swear, I won't bore you guys with it, but I could recite at least 5 minutes of the 10 or so minutes that thing ran. It was magic. It was absolutely entertaining. But those cigars, and then when the time came to move to the Dominican Republic, and he took a pause and said, no, we're not going to do this until we can get it right. They were magic. And to me, one of the cigars that I had to prove to my fellow members at Cigar Aficionado when we first launched the magazine, I said, here's a cigar that deserves to be on exactly the same stage as the greatest Havana cigars. And remember, the early 90s is the era when Cohiba was setting the world on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I showed him a Partagas No. 9, which to this day is one of the most beautiful cigars I've ever seen and an extraordinary smoking experience. I wish that you could get Sandy and Tito de Bronx to make that size again, because that was my definition of an imperial cigar. It was absolutely magnificent. So welcome. I'm so excited that you're doing this, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you're 100% right. Benji, at least a couple of times that we've sat, has brought up the Monte Cruz issue. And you know, it did take over the United States market. It became quite a brand. Never understood.
Yeah.
He never understood why. You know, it was sacrificed in for some other brands. But at the end of the day, it's fantastic. You know that you bring all this up, because these people, they were, you know, one of a kind of people, artists and friends. I remember, you know, our family factory was the first one to implement the molds in Cuba that are used today, and my uncle Ramon, because he was my grandfather's brother, was in charge of the tobacco and in charge of the farms and so forth. My grandfather Rafael was more in charge of the factory and the commercial side, and their brother Manuel, who was the third brother, was in charge of public relations, marketing, and so forth.
Yeah,
and
marketing.
Yeah, I remember Benji telling me, you know, it's incredible what's going on in Cuba, because you know who taught me to use the molds? Can you believe that A. Chapman and Monte Cristo would be taught by a Cifuentes, you know, how to use the molds, because we didn't know how to use them. So that was the kind of relationship they developed over time. It was not a matter of sacrificing the other one. It was a matter of helping, and in some
everybody.
In some respect, I can see some traces of that here in the U.S. market. You know, I've seen some factories burning down, and the competitors, you know, hurrying to help and
sharing to help, tobacco, molds, tools.
Yeah. Even myself, who I'm a little small dot in this universe, would come if to rescue if it's possible for me to do anything on their behalf. So, and I think that, you know, that's what this is what this community transpires and really relies upon. It's we're family. We're family and we need to remain family to defend our industry as well.
Well, yeah, but the truth is that you are part of the royal family of cigars in Cuba. So the idea that, you know, I mean, it's a combination of monarchies coming together. If Benjamin Menendez and and you are and together involved in any respect, it's almost earth shattering. It's unprecedented and it's magnificent. But tell me this:
Yes.
are the trade dress, the presentation, the bands, the boxes and stuff, are these things that you mind, that you drew inspiration from the historical?
Well, yeah, I actually I can show you a box. Hold on. I've tried to definitely
Sorry for the rest of you if this is boring you, but I'm so
no,
excited to talk to
I'm glad to
somebody.
bring it up. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's for
Oh, yeah.
example the Robusto box.
Uh-huh.
You know what it's I would say it's kind of a mix between I don't know, maybe you tell me I'm wrong, but I think this is something different, and let me show you the interior.
Love this. We don't get to see this very often.
What, two old farts strolling down memory lane?
No,
I'm
not
telling
that
you.
part, but just
Yeah.
the merchandise itself. It's like great.
Yeah, I
love
want
that.
to see that. I want to see the branding.
Exactly.
It's kind of a mixture between a cabinet
Yes.
and a dress box. See, with
But
with,
that, so that the
I
top
would-
of the box is, the top of the box is reminiscent of a Partagas D #4, and the inside,
Yeah,
that yellow, looks like the classic old Cifuentes label, which was so beautiful.
Yeah, well, you're right on it, because I am a delightful smoker of Partagas Series D #4. My favorite cigar, definitely, and definitely the Cifuentes. Well, it's part of it's part of the history. So
Yes.
it came out naturally. You know, I didn't have to force it in. It was gonna be all wrapped up at the beginning, but you know, this sector of ours, it's incredible that you know, in such a short period of time, you can gather the tobacco, develop the resources, get the master blenders who are always helping and giving free advice, because they're so
Advice.
passionate about it. And all of a sudden, the boxing guy doesn't make what you want or what you need, and you have to do something different. That's why I thought it was, I ended up dedicating the box to a friend of mine who's became a friend of mine, Miguel Cabrera from Millennium Wood Boxes in Florida. Because he, in 2.5 weeks, he got me out of the jam, and I'm grateful for that. That's the kind of relationships you want to have in the tobacco industry.
Yes.
But it's going to be
Well,
three
that's
sizes.
terrific.
It's going to be the classical Robusto 5x50. I called it the traditional Cuban size, because at the end of the day, the U.S. market, it's been growing in sizes. There's a Toro also, which I call the traditional USA size, and that's something that it's very popular in the market. And a Corona that it's 575 by 48. It's in between a traditional Corona and a larger Corona. All of this.
But you're just, Rafa, but are you going to call it just a Corona? It's just going to be labeled Corona, no extra terminology. Robusto, Corona, and Toro?
Yeah.
Bravo, because its simplicity is better.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And will they all be round cabinet?
Yes, they will. Well, it's a 10 count, mainly because it's done in Miami, and definitely the cost of rolling tobacco in the U.S.
Capacity is limited.
And evidently, the 10 people, without the help of Sandy and Giselle, this would have been impossible. And they even have people that have worked in the Partagas factory in the past, and when you see the quality of the product, you realize they're worth every dollar. So it's they even helped me with deciding what to launch, and I took their advice. I mean, at the end of the day, I know them since many years back, and these are excellent people. So all the knowledge they could share, I took definitely.
If it counts for anything, my vote is your fourth size whenever you have capacity to do it. Absolutely should be a classic Lonsdale. Do a 6.5 by 42 or 43, just exactly what I remember Don Ramon always had in his pocket.
Yeah.
And it's the definitive size for Partagas, right? And number one, I mean, it's known the world over. You guys basically that a Monte Cristo number one and a Partagas number one are the definitive shapes.
Definitely. You know, I wanted to launch a Churchill, and now it's becoming popular in size. Maybe I mean, they will prove us to be wrong, because the consumption is still not there. There's a mixture between size and quantity of tobacco, I guess, because the ring gauges are going crazy. It's you know, the manufacturing thinks that you can't even smoke, but there's customers for it. And I wanted
But
to
make cigars for the global market. Don't make them for the American obesity epidemic cigar market.
Well, that's thank you for bringing that up. I mean, I'm definitely focusing in the U.S. market first, because I mean, I've been exposed to it for over 30 years because of the relationship with the Coleman family and
Sure.
and so forth. But yes, definitely, now that prices of Cuban tobacco have gone through the roof, there's an opportunity for good products in this market. You know, I think now it's when the European consumer is going to start really giving value to what it's being done other than Cuba. You know, definitely. And
they're going to be playing catch up.
Yeah,
they're going to be playing catch up to us.
Huh? Yeah.
That market, they're all going to be behind in terms of recognizing who are the leaders, who makes the best product, and how. And so we you know, look, I was only saying don't pander only to the U.S. market in terms of shapes and blends, because these cigars are going to have a market all over the world. Mm-hmm. Not that I want you to send anywhere other than to us right here. We'll buy all you can make for the foreseeable future. I promise you that.
Sorry?
I said we'll buy all you can. I said we'll buy all you can make for the foreseeable future. You don't have to worry about sending them anywhere else.
George. You know, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is, you know, I've been definitely selecting whom to not only source the tobacco from, but with whom to manufacture, and new things will be coming down the road after, you know, we break this first hurdle, and very exciting things will be coming forward. So thank you so much, George. I look forward to replenishing the stores and aficionados as well. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Well, look, I look forward to it. I'll turn it back to Renhard, but hopefully you and I'll get a chance to sit down and smoke one of these together.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We'll share them and talk about how to conquer the rest of the cigar world. All right.
It'll be my pleasure.
Ciao. Thanks again, guys.
Sure.
Rafael, you made me think of a question, and it perfectly relates to everything that you just discussed with George as well. Obviously, a lot of what you do and what you offer with this new endeavor is a true testament and tribute to the past. At the same time, of course, you're working in today's industry environment and facing the challenges of today's cigar industry. So how much of what you bring to the table is just in respect of the tradition and how things were done in the past and the true reference to those historical notions, and how much of that has to be tweaked or taken into consideration based on the dynamics and the challenges of today's cigar industry and the market that you're facing?
Thank you, Renhard. Yes, at the end, well, I'd say everything. This is an all-in bet. I think that's why I mentioned earlier that, you know, I think that I decided to take this a step because certain things align in respect to the tobacco sector. You know, I think it's the U.S. market tobacco sector is very vibrant. There's a lot of smokers that to my understanding have a very good palate because they've been exposed to other origins than Cuba, and so they have developed a palate for different products. They can still smoke a Cuban, definitely, but they can also enjoy a Nicaraguan cigar, a Dominican cigar, or a Honduras cigar. You know, and there's great people manufacturing those. The Roa family, for example, or Nestor, as mentioned earlier, Matasa people, even the Cuevas family, whom are, you know, are small brand. They make great products, you know. And today, you have to combine definitely 100% of what was, to me at least, you know, what it was the past, but also consider that the U.S. market, it's evolving into new smokers that are women are starting to smoke. They don't want to smoke what their mates smoke. They have their own palate. They have more sensorial abilities, like Franca could verify. And at the end of the day, you have to be ready to adapt to the market tendencies. That's why at first I was going with with the line. It was a Robusto, it was a Churchill, and it was a Corona, and this at the end of the day decided to introduce the Toro because the market wants the Toro, and you have to give the smoker what they're willing to try and evolve through the brand in time. So that's more or less, it's a market that the U.S. market it's a market that is very sophisticated. It's not an easy market at all. There's great people manufacturing cigars and great not only manufacturers, but they're also vertically integrated. So they produce their own tobacco and let's say, for example, A.J. Fernandez. A.J. Fernandez, there's certain tobaccos that he won't sell because he uses for his own tobaccos. So that's something that is very difficult to compete with. But at the end of the day, it fits different palates. It fits different smokers. You know. So yes, definitely, you have to evolve with the market and with the taste of the smokers, of cigar connoisseurs, and make a product that doesn't kick back any beginner. I think it was a real challenge, because when you want to preserve the flavor, when you want to preserve the notes, and when you want to preserve taste, but don't kick anyone out, it's a complicated balance. But I think we've done, and when I mean we've done is because there's been 4 or 5 people involved in this blend. It's a terrific job, I think that there's this constant thinking that Europeans and Americans or U.S. have different tastes, and I think that's somewhat because of the Cuban tradition, but really Nicaragua, Honduras, Ecuador, Dominican, they make great products, and I think it's very enriching for the smoker to be able to have this assortment of product. And the traditional smoker used to stick to one cigar, and that was all he smoked on one brand. Nowadays, They pick their morning cigar, their evening cigar, their night cigar. They have, depending upon the time they have, they make it a different choice, and that's fantastic because it's like you wouldn't just drink the only wine, from Napa and disregard all the other origins. That's not enriching. That's just the contrary.
Rafael, do you buy into that concept of different palates according to regionality, different cultures even? I mean, I guess you could make an argument that depending on the food, the spices, the drinks
Yeah.
that you were brought up,
Yeah.
your perception and your sensory database is different. If we take a contrasting example between probably New England and India, right?
Yeah.
Or between Europe and people in Africa, and that's just natural, beautiful, and very enriching. Also, as you mentioned that word. But do you buy into the idea that people have different preferences and go for different styles of cigars in the Middle East, Asia, Europe, the US?
I do believe that people want an excellent product, that people have some kind of tendency to favor some kinds of blends. Definitely, this is like the Americans say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The cigars is the same. Benji, to quote him, many times he tells me, the best cigar I'm smoking is the one I'm smoking right now. So I might like it, I might like it a little bit spicier, or I might like it a little bit more creamier. But at the end of the day, the best cigar is the one that you're smoking at that moment. And definitely, culture, it's something to take in consideration when you're in the tobacco. But if you're in a premium cigar sector, I think we could say that well, there's two tendencies here. Okay, it's Benji says wrapper, for example, and I share that thought with him. It takes over about 60 to 70% of the taste of the cigar. Where if you ask other people like Manuel Besada, they say that it's 50-50. That you have to make the wrapper blend with the blend. I favor Benji's idea because at the end of the day, using the same wrapper in different blends, you don't get the same taste. You get different taste, and I think that, today we do have very good tools in the market to determine which are the which is the taste favored in those markets. And yes, they do. I mean, they all might have or share some of the of this spicy and flavorish, but at the end of the day, each smoker and each region tends to favor, the winner take all rule. That's it's as simple as that. That's why I believe that Cuba has such a great impact in Europe. We've never been exposed to, until very recently, I'd say 10 years ago, to Oliva, to all other brands that are very rich and that do an excellent job.
Absolutely. Carl, over to you, my friend.
Sure.
Yeah, I was curious about something, maybe a little bit of an elephant in the room now that you just mentioned as well, Cuba, because you have your family has such a rich history. But because I was reading some interviews with Don Ramon, and a little bit melancholic, like towards the end of his life. He never returned after leaving in the early 60s there. And that was, it seemed like he really held out hope for a long time that he would return, but it never happened. And now that the generations have passed, I was just curious how because you mentioned you smoked Partagas Series D #4, so it doesn't seem like you have a personal grudge or anything, but what is your generation now and moving forward? How are your relationship with Cuba? What is your sentiment towards Cuba? How is it now?
Now, Uncle Ramon, I guess like the rest of us, like my father, like my grandfather, like many people before him, wished to return to Cuba and wanted to return to Cuba. But there was this reality there that it's very difficult to assimilate. It's someone coming into your factory with machine guns and taking over your business. It's something. So relationship. I don't have. I like to say I don't have any enemies anywhere, because at the end of the day, I really believe that in the tobacco industry, we're open. But going back to Cuba, well, I hope I can see it, or at least my kids can see it, or there's my great grandsons can see it. But that's something, that it's unfortunately it's not. We don't have a crystal ball to say when that's going to happen, or if it's going to happen. I mean, at the end of the day, this may never happen just because political interest. You never know. But in respect with tobacco, I think, yeah, definitely. Obviously, today my favorite brand is my brand, because it's designed after my taste. And let me tell you, I recently smoked with Havana Ambassador here in Evita. I was there for a few days, and he was like, "Wow, I think this is the second best cigar I have smoked in my life." I said, "Well," and 10 minutes before, he was telling me, it's gonna be very difficult that I like this cigar, because I usually smoke the 350th anniversary of H. Upman. All of a sudden, wow! I mean, when you have a good product and people are exposed to it properly, and they understand the process behind it, and how many people are involved in the process. At the end of the day, a cigar to be at the hands of a smoker, it almost takes 900 days. From the time that it's in the field, and then it's the crop collected, mature, and put into cigar. Time has shortened. In Cuba, they used to have a 5-year inventory, but now things have economies of scale and production dictate other doings. I'm trying to stick to the past. I'm trying to stick to letting the cigars mature, and letting the cigars rest and gain all their flavor before reaching the consumer. Even I have, at least in this first edition, I have incorporated the shoot, I don't know how to say it in English. Well, this. Please remind me.
The cedar shoot.
The cedar, because I think cedar does. I mean, cedar, it's very well known in the tobacco world, and in the smokers world. Cedar was put into the boxes at the beginning because it's a great bactericide, and it keeps mold from building into the boxes, and but it also adds flavor to them, and I thought it was an important thing to be present in the cigar box, even though the cost is over the roof, and not only that, it's the U.S. has raised the restrictions towards cedar, because
Harvesting.
in any event, this industry of ours has a lot of threats coming forward, and we need to put the egos aside and unite to a common front. Otherwise, they're gonna end up leaving us with maybe 2, 3, 4 large manufacturers, and the rest will disappear. So I think it's important, every piece of the and every element of the box, of the cigar, the band making, the everything needs to be address properly. And listen, if there's a lack of boxes, maybe we need to help the box factories, you know, because at the end of the day, we rely on them as well. I don't know if I answered your call.
Yeah, better than I could have
I'm
expected.
having gone overboard. I get excited, you know.
I love to see that passion. No, that's fantastic. No, I'm glad you tied it back to this project because I'm also very, very curious to see about it. Is there anything now that because if I'm not mistaken, this is your first time launching your own sort of brand, right?
Yes,
Is there
definitely.
anything that I guess because you've been so connected to tobacco for a long time, and of course your family, is there anything that really, you know, shocked you, surprised you about this journey when you're finally diving in yourself on a more personal level? How's the process been like?
I'll be honest with you. There were not many. Well, the only big surprise is you know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, the fact that you can make a great product and you can have it stored, and all of a sudden you can't get the boxes, or you can get certain elements that shouldn't be a problem, you know, and that's the most shocking, because you know, after 35 years of relationship with excellent people, I've met new wonderful people as well. For example, Robert Caldwell. Robert is an excellent guy. Christian Hero, it's a magnificent person. I feel at home. I feel, you know, this is my industry, and I really enjoy the time I spend with all of them, and see them helping me and encouraging me to launch the product. You know, even though they are aware you're going to be a competitor, it's fascinating. That's been really a great honor, a great surprise, because you know, I think that way, but you could think, you know, that the U.S. market is much more competitive than any market in the world, and they wouldn't welcome you at all, and that's not been the reality. Has been completely different. So I'm really honored, and I'm really grateful to all of them, and I probably won't. I mean, I could look up my phone list and give you Matt Booth, and you know, people from Cigar Aficionado, all the way through the industry. Everybody is been giving a hand and encouraging. So really glad, you know, really looking forward to putting the product in your hands, like Joshua was saying, and get all the feedback possible, you know, to improve and to make you know, what I think it was the recipe of my great grandfather, and from there, from my grandfather, my father, and now to myself, you know, the excellence in tobacco production, getting the whole of the best tobacco possible, and definitely respect, very lots of respect for everybody that is involved in this business, because we're a family, you know, and they deserve it. They really deserve it.
Peter, please chime in. Always great to see you.
Hello, Peter.
To have you.
Hello.
My
This
pleasure to
has
meet
been,
you.
yes, thank you. Likewise, greatly. This has been an immense privilege to have you on the show today. And
No, believe me, it's a privilege for me to have you all here. Thank you so much, Peter.
I need to say thank you to Renhard, because he always supports us
Sure.
with all these wonderful shows. And, you know, I've been a serious cigar smoker for almost 10 years, but learning the history of the brands that I love and the people who set the foundation for the industry has added immensely to my enjoyment of these wonderful cigars. The question I have is, when will your new cigars be available, and where can we buy them?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. First of all, 10 years, that's a long time, and you're 100% right. I mean, the consumers are avid for history, and to know where things come from, and what's the history that's behind the product, and definitely I think that's very much important. The product will be available by mid September. It'll be available in through retailers in Florida. But in order to service the rest of the United States, we'll be probably in the process of developing like a founders club, like a founders. I wanted it to be something very unique, and be able to deliver directly to consumers who are interested in doing so, and also giving them the chance to order not the present, the next coming lines, but the future lines that will be launched. I can say it's been quite a journey to find these tobaccos to launch this blend. But I'm really proud of the outcome, and I really hope to get your feedback from all of you when you get a chance to smoke one of the Adalthea Realis cigars, which, by the way, I think I mentioned it to you. It means Your Royal Highness, and I think it's mainly because it got to a point that the factory became the official provider of the houses of Italy and Spain, and royal houses. And I think my great grandfather at that time, decided that it would best fit his stellar product to call it Adalthea Realis, and without him knowing, he launched what is known today as a Salomon cigar. Well, that'll be coming forward in maybe not in this next edition. This will come from Dominican Republic, and it will be a collaboration with a very well-known family there in Dominican. But it'll come. It'll come. I hope George buys all the cigars he can, so or at least enjoys all the cigars he can, so we can keep making the best product that we can. Thank you so much, Peter.
Yeah. So your advice would be to tighten the brands and see if they make them available.
No. I mean, the brand, they're going to be available. Actually, they're going to be available through retailers as well. I mean, if you, for example, if you are at the Neptune Club, they'll be available as singles to you. But in order not to compete with the retail stores, my online offer is going to be whole boxes or half box offering, because at the end of the day, this is an industry that depends very much on the retailers, and we need to, this is part of my thinking. We need to help everybody that it's involved, and it's important. Wholesalers, farmers, everybody's rollers, people that make the bands. By the way, I want to salute my friend Ricky from Cigar Bandman, who's also been grateful in helping me with all the trouble he's been facing. But that's the idea.
Very good. Thank you.
No, thank you to you, Peter.
Many thanks, Peter. Always a pleasure. Carl, you had another one.
Yeah, funnily enough, he answered it himself, because I was researching it and I found the original Adalthea Realis, and it was the Solomon.
Oh, yeah?
And I was going to ask about that name, and you said it, and then I was going to ask if you were going to come out with a Solomon, but you also answered that. So perhaps you can shoot it off to me, because Rafa is quicker than me already.
No. It's it took some time to develop the product, the idea, the concept, because at the end of the day, otherwise you're just a cigar with a band, and that's something definitely I didn't want to become. I wanted this brand to be definitely a full expression of family's, legacy, which Renhard mentioned it earlier. I mean, you can find that also in Fuentes. You can find that in many families that are, Oliva family and even the Cuevas family. They are the fourth generation into the tobacco business. This is a business that when you get hooked on it, you stay on it and die on it. And the day you're born with a cigar in your mouth. That's just it's as simple as that. And I wanted it, to be a perfect or as perfect example as I could give the smokers of this great tribute I want to pay to my family, and share it with you all guys.
Rafael, just on a very practical side of things, with all the family history, that legacy that you have mentioned, the exposure that you have had to so many people in the industry, so many different tobaccos, origins, it's like colors on a paint palette.
Yeah.
When you started to draw your painting and make your vision reality, how did you then choose the factories that you wanted to work with? Because there would be so many options, I guess, and some would be probably more obvious, some a bit more obscure or mysterious and secretive. I guess it's almost an impossible decision. But how did you go about selecting the partners that you will eventually be working with?
Thanks for the question, Reinhard. That was not difficult. I'm grateful because I've been exposed to people that have also collaborated in building this industry. Like the Coleman family, Peter Strauss, Theo Falls. Very relevant names in the Tommy Morgan, Tom Arthur in another side of business. But also to people like Nestor or to Manolo Quesada family, and found, that the identity of these makers and their brands very much resembles. It's funny because I'm younger than them, but we're cut by the same die. We're cut by the same theory. I was at Vegas where we met this past July, and the opening speech, there were Nestor Placencia Jr., this great guy. It was Manolo Quesada. It was Christian Eroa, and there was this British guy that
Michael
right.
Herklotz did the
Right.
moderation.
And I was listening to them, and I was just frozen because their views were my views, and I was thinking, wow, it's incredible that I've been born and raised in Spain and linked always to the tobacco sector, but our views are the same, are strictly the same. And here in Manolo, the love for the tobacco and for the people that make it and bring it and process it, and how you should be already thinking of what your next step is going to be in order to secure the procurement of tobacco. And I was frozen because I said, well, maybe up here I'm 85 or 65 or whatever, but these people breathe the same things I breathe, and so at the moment of making the selection, I think it's most important that these people that you select when you're making your brand have the same ideas that you have and the same principles that you have. That's basic. Otherwise, there's not the chemistry in the marriage. And second, there's a lot of people that make cigars nowadays, but that would like to bring back the original or the Cuban traditions. You can count them with a hand. And those that are willing to do that are on my team.
Great
That's
answer.
as simple as that. Definitely the bottom line is important, but the bottom line comes after pleasing your customers and pleasing and having a good relationship with your with the people that grow your tobacco, and that's what's really the difference we can make today. Otherwise, you're just selling sticks and forgetting the love and the passion that an industry like ours deserves. So,
Wonderfully said, Rafael. Much
thanks.
appreciated.
Oh no, it's my pleasure.
Rafael, I know that you still have other obligations today as well, and we want to be most respectful of your time. But there's a few people who would still like to say something or
Sure.
still have questions. So, with your due permission, I would like
Definitely,
to have
definitely.
Franca.
Franca, yes, I like to
share
hear from
her
Franca
question
because
or her
Franca
thoughts
has
as
taste.
well. And
Has taste. Ciao, Franca. How are you?
Ciao, ciao, Rafa. I'm doing
Looking
very well.
good, looking good. I'm sorry for your loss. My love to you.
Thank you so much, Rafa. Really appreciate it. Very nice to see you here. I'll be very brief because I understand there's some time constraints. So I want to say, yeah, I'm here to support, of course. I'm here to support tonight, and I wanted to join. Apologies, Renhard, if I don't join as often, but tonight it was special. It's an honor for the whole Cigar family, I think, hearing that you want to step up. And so we all look forward to this. I want to say, yeah, I really appreciated your Corona personally, of course, but you know that my taste doesn't matter. It's what everyone else's taste
Yes, right.
matters, you know how I work.
Yes.
So I want to wish you all the best. You and Pablo, who I believe is
Thank you.
somewhere there.
Yeah, Pablo is somewhere around there. Yes, thank you so much, Franca.
Okay.
When Reinhard asked me about taste, I was just thinking of you and Cigar Sense, because at the end of the day, you could give a master class on that, no doubt. But I'm really looking forward to see what the result of the tasting, because I've smoked all the cigars that I brought back to Spain. I smoked them all, but
Yeah.
I'll be delightfully sending you the samples. And well, you know a lot more than that than I do, and definitely I can think there's clear tendencies in different countries, right, Franca?
I'm sorry, could you-
There's different tendencies to flavor
Yes.
depending
Oh,
in
of
the
course.
countries, right?
Of course, and then you can segment, of course, the people by their priorities, because not everybody cares for the same things to the same extent. And so definitely. And, the more the quality of the data is that you look at, the better your predictions are. So yeah, it's super important.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Franca, and give my best to David as well.
Yes, I will. Okay.
My love
All
to
right.
you both.
Yeah, and my love to you as well, and to Pablo and all your family.
Thank you, Franca. Thank you.
Franca, it's wonderful to have you join us at the lounge. Thanks for
Yes, indeed,
taking
indeed.
time and for chiming in and asking a question. Lovely
Thanks
see
to you, Renhard, for holding this wonderful event every Wednesday.
It's always a pleasure, and yeah, it's fascinating that still, and sometimes even more so, every week, we find another golden nugget and another different angle at the industry to discuss and to share, and it gives me great joy and great pleasure. So you could also call it a purely egoistical motive, but to share it with everybody, it's just wonderful. So yeah,
It's true, but it's difficult to find in today's world. For example, a platform like Franca's, where she doesn't want to be tailored by ratings of companies paying for advertising, and they trying to do a fair job. And when I encountered her page, I immediately got in contact with her. I wanted to meet her. Pablo and myself, my son, we flew down there to meet her, and it was a terrific honor, because at the end of the day, these are pure spirits, and you need to be definitely in contact and definitely share, because they do, as you know, openly share their thoughts and recommendations. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, you know, we are a family, and we need to give a hand and help each other, and unselfishly. Simple as that, you know, it's unselfishly. So it was a great honor, Franca. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you a lot.
Mace, over to you. Over to London. I'm sure you have a couple of great thoughts, comments, and questions for Rafa as well. I
Sure.
saw you hand up earlier.
Renhard, thanks for another great show for us geeks and lovers of the leaf. Rafa, it's absolutely great to meet you and great listening to the history
so
and
much.
the passion and love. We are all looking forward to the release, especially here in the UK. So I guess just on that, Rafa, I wanted to just ask, especially with your sort of background, your family's history,
Mhm.
and it touches a little bit on just the different tastes across the world, and just wanted to get your take on sort of, you know, it's very subjective, of course, but
Yeah.
almost what you are hoping to create in terms of what your personal favorite flavors are that you want to get out of a cigar and what you want to deliver to the world. So I know that there's a history of the Partagas and everything else, and we can all associate and think of what that flavor is like and what we like from it. But
Yeah.
what is it that you wanted to convey to the world in that flavor, and what you want to, you know, what should people expect? Maybe it'll be different, of course, but what's your sort of palette like, and what are you hoping to deliver?
Well, thank you so much for the question, Mitch. Being 100% honest with you, definitely when you're in the process of developing a blend and a cigar, you have a reference, like exactly what you said, right? But to me, the reference was definitely was a Partagas Series D, but it was a 1980s edition. It was not the actual edition. You know, it's it doesn't have anything to do with smoke today. But let me say that in my opinion, it's probably from Cuba is the most even out cigar production wise. You don't have that many variations in taste. Very rare, you know, to find what we used to call in Cuba a fireman inside the cigar, which is, you know, that suddenly all of a sudden you see your cigar going away, you know, and you can't get a puff out of it. But definitely that was the reference, and that's why I insisted, you know, and we went through like 6 or 10 different blends. You know, the product needed to be as spicy as and mild as possible, but as tasty and flavorful, because the U.S. Market sometimes loses a little bit of flavor towards the power of the cigar. It's understandable because, in fact, I think the U.S. and Cuba are in opposed directions. Cuba it's refining, and it's making cigars softer, and the United States started it softer, and it's going upwards. You know, so I was looking for a place in the middle, so that neither would be kicked out of the picture, and but a true connoisseur would really enjoy and like the cigar. Definitely was thinking on women in the brand as well, you know, because that's, I think, I mean, I've never considered the tobacco industry to be an industry, you know, that had any issues with women at all. In fact, you know, the best rollers you could find probably for specialty and some certain cigars were women. But now, you know, they have evolved. They have their own taste. That they even, you know, they have their they even launched cigars and do an excellent job. Even, you know, from Dominican, from several places. But you know, I wanted also to be part of the consumer, definitely, and did not want to, you know, include a pink brand, a pink, no. I mean, if you choose a cigar, it's because you like the taste. It's because, it tells you something different, and you enjoy it. And it's very important, the fact, the cigar to be as steady as possible through time. It takes a hard job because, as I said before, you need to be rethinking, year over year, crops are not the same. They don't get the same water. They don't get the same sun. They don't get the same. So it's it's like you have to be reformulating the blend a little bit every year, and to make it as steady as possible. But I think the most important, thing, or at least the thing that you can control in that respect, is trying to have an excellent product. The best product you can make keeps you right on target on what to include in the cigar, what to come on, what to launch to the market, and all ears. I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody makes criticism, it's wonderful because you learn from that. You really do learn from that, and that's why I think the big difference there was, that Cuba was making at that time in the 40s and 50s, the best possible product. They didn't care about the rest, but pleasing the consumer, and having the honor of having the best cigar. I'll give you a small idea. For example, Ramon Allones. Ramon Allones was the #1 brand in Cuba for many years, and Monte Cristo. But Ramon Allones was bought by my great grandfather, and Monte Cristo at that time had a Chapman, which was their first brand. And the both brands, they both share the space. One year it was why? Because the crop of that particular farmer that year, and the wrapper had, for whatever the reason, had been a better crop, and it did show in the results. But Ramon Allones shared from, Monte Cristo shared from Ramon Allones the M of the brand, and nobody complained. Can you imagine today such a situation? That would be impossible, And if you look at the Ramon Allones all label and Monte Cristo all label, they're both about the same size, the same shape, the same color, and Monte Cristo shares the M of Ramon. That's just that's just putting value into the product, not into the brand, and putting value into doing the best you can year after year. That was that simple. They didn't care. Why? Because their aim was to make the best product, which for me it's definitely a legacy, but it's also an issue, because you carry the weight of time and great products in the market. But it's also, it's also satisfying. That's why, to me, it's an honor to have you all here with me. To see that there's this is not going to go unseen. This is this is a personal project, and it's starting to take shape, and definitely will move on for years to come. I really do hope that sometime we can all see Cuba open up, but that's something it's not up to us. But hopefully we still have to make the best possible cigar we can make. And going back to Cuban practices and going back to how things used to be, I think it's the right formula.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to that. I think your description of where your flavor, sort of your palate is, and that sweetness and or the spiciness, and yeah, I'm sort of salivating, looking forward to it. So
thank you so much.
Best of luck. Wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much.
Thanks to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Renhard.
My pleasure and privilege. Well, I'm grateful. I could sit here and listen for hours. I always, most of the shows I sit here and it's just like fascinating. Give me more. I want to listen to all of that, and in particular when I spend time with Mr. George Brightman. That's when you really understand why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you better use it in that proportion. Listen and learn, and today is such a moment. When you have Rafael, George, Carl as the young generation. All of you sitting here and sharing the essence of what is a premium cigar.
Thank you, Reinhard. I mean, somebody told me that saying you just meant, we were given 2 ears and 1 mouth because we should hear and listen double of what we talk. So today, after this, I'm gonna just shut my mouth and go to sleep until tomorrow because I have spoken much more than I should have. Thank you so much, guys.
No, it was wonderful. Rafael, before we conclude,
Sure.
George had another memory that
Well, definitely. Please.
to share with us, and with that, I would love to conclude today's show and say just a very big thank you from the heart to all of you for sharing this wonderful moment with us. George,
I propose to you one thing. Let's try to meet October. Well, no, October I have my son's wedding, so it's gotta be late October. I hope that by then you all have received or been able to taste the cigar. If not, please let know Renhard, and I'll try to get you a sampler myself. And let's talk about it. I really would love to hear what you guys have to say.
that would be a privilege. Absolutely.
Thank
I'll
you
take
so
note
much,
of that.
Renhard.
George.
Yes, please.
So Rafa, I couldn't bail out without leaving you with this last thought. I like that you mentioned Cuba and speaking with the ambassador and him talking about the things that he smokes, that's a comparison for him, and you talking about the family legacy. I just remember one thing. This stands out to me so clearly. At the time of the Partagas 150 anniversary, which now is a long time ago, and I had been with the Colemans for the launch of the 150 from the Dominican Republic. But shortly after, I was in Cuba and I was interviewing the rollers who were making the Partagas 150, the super exotic, at that time, one of the most expensive Cuban cigars ever made. And they were rollers. One of the rollers was a woman who had actually worked before the revolution for Ramon and Manolo. And I said to her, he's still alive, he's still active, he's a great gentleman. What would you say if I could bring him here today? What would he think? And she looked around the factory and the rolling gallery and everything else, and she leans forward to me like she's going to give me this big secret. And she goes, I worry he would fire all of us. I thought that was the greatest. To me, that's the commentary. It's like, okay, you got to live up to a standard, and that's what we're hoping for when we sample your new cigars, is we want that commitment to quality, not what's happening right now. That's why you chose the 1980s Partagas Series B number 4 as the example, not a modern version.
Right. That's correct, George. Thank you so much.
Well,
Yes, you know that.
I will be happy. I'll be happy to join you in smoking the cigar once we have
Thank you so much.
And they're ready to go.
Definitely. Please keep in touch. Let me just leave you with one thought. My great grandfather, when he took a hold of the factory, his workers were his family. So he opened up a clinic in the factory. He gave them like a kind of social security. They had the right to take a certain number of cigars every day. They were definitely paid on production. And look, in 1959, our factory was paying the salaries that they're being earned today in some of the places that make the best cigars for the U.S. So all the respect for those people and rollers and the people that you know, that receive the tobacco, the storages, they are so important. You know, people
Every
that
level.
turn, yeah, people that turn around the wrappers to make sure that they don't go rot and that they mature perfectly. You know, that's what I really want to bring into this product, and that's my compromise towards the cigar industry. You know, doing things the way they should, at least from my humble perspective, be done. Thank you so much, George. Reinhard,
Beautifully
we
said.
give it back to you.
Rafael, thank you so much. And I mean, you gave the perfect last sentence with what you just said, and you did so repeatedly throughout the show. One of the many takeaways for me, and I think for a lot of people, is what you mentioned about the Cuba of yesteryears, where there was still an essence of pride, and we're coming up with the best possible product for other people's enjoyment. That humble and serving act of giving your all to create the very best you can so that other people can enjoy that and get tremendous pleasure out of that. I just think, you know, if more people could keep that thought, that seed in their heart and souls and in their everyday lives, you know, the world would be such a fantastic place, and there'd be so many great products out there. But I'm truly blessed and grateful to know people like yourself that still carry those values and beliefs and build the products and their services and everything that they do on exactly that foundation. And therefore, I want to thank you, and I want to congratulate you and wish you all the very best, all the success there is based on that. And I'm truly grateful that we had the pleasure to meet in person, and I can't wait to sit down with you and George and many other people and share those cigars and experience firsthand the essence of your family's history and legacy and everything that you have shared with us today. So many thanks from the heart for providing us with the privilege and the opportunity to listen, learn, and share this precious moment. It's been a true pleasure.
Thanks to you all.
Thanks,
Really
Reinhard.
great time and fantastic audience, and really enjoyed your questions. You can go ahead and share my email with these people, no problem whatsoever, and we'll be in touch.
With great
Okay.
pleasure.
We'll see you down the road. Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody, and I wish you
Thank you,
all
Rafa.
a good day.
Thank you. Thanks to you all.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Everybody. Bye tomorrow.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Reinhard. Thanks,
Bye now.
Rafa.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Great show.
Thank you all.
Great show.
Great
Great show.
Thank you so much.
Excellent, Rafa.
Thank you so much.
Enhorabuena.
What a great event.
Excellent. Rafa sticking around. That's good.
Yeah, of course. The first to come and the last to leave.